To create a rosette of 18 petals, you need 18 balls. First, you will need 5 smaller ones, about 1 centimeter in diameter. Then 5 larger ones, about 1 centimeter and 3 to 4 millimeters in diameter. Then 5 even bigger, about 2 centimeters in diameter. The final 3 balls can be 1 centimeter and a couple millimeters in diameter. They will be used at the very end. To keep the clay from drying, cover it with a moist paper towel. Begin with the smallest petals, or the smallest balls. Begin shaping the ball into a drop shape, like so. Then place it on your palm, and with the help of this part of the hand, lightly roll the drop shape. Using your thumb, press on the edge of the drop shape and smear the top part to create a petal. Then place it on a flat surface. Repeat the process for the next 4 petals. Place the thumb on the edge, smear in a circular motion, and remove. The first 5 petals are ready. Continue to the middle row. This time make the drop slightly longer, about 2 centimeters in length. Place your thumb on the edge and smear the top part the same way you did with the first 5 petals. Next, take it off your palm, place it back, and with a round tool slightly work the inside of the petal, lightly bending the outer edge. Repeat the process with the next 4 petals. The process for the next row will be the same, except that the drop needs to be even longer, slightly larger, so the petal can be wider. Take it off, slightly work the inside, and lightly fold the edge. The final 3 petals need to be created the same exact way, only a little rounder. Try to make them shorter and rounder. Work them through the same way and slightly fold the edge, like so. All the same way. The petals are now ready, and you don't have to paint them, but it is recommended before you put the rows together. I used the red shade and clear gesso. It didn't whiten the red color, it just changed the consistency of the pigment. Place some paint on a brush, wipe it thoroughly, and with this kind of motion, paint from the edge to the center of each petal. The goal is to slightly tone at the base. I recommend thoroughly wiping down the brush so that you don't have heavy smears and so that the petals have a beautiful color transition. Make sure to paint all the petals because it will give them a beautiful effect. If you accidentally use too much paint somewhere, grab a clean brush, dab it into the clear gesso, and go over the borders of the petals like so to remove the contrast. The petals are now ready. Now dab some glue to the tails of the petals, the middle ones, the larger ones, and the last ones. Also put some glue on the tails of the two smallest petals. Now on to putting the rose together. Take the first petal and fold it into a nice roll. Take the next petal, place it on the seam of the previous one at the same height. This is very important, and fold it like so. The painted side stays on the inside of the flower. The third petal goes on the seam of the previous one at the same height, and make sure to measure the height on the top and fold it like so. 3 petals are ready. Place the next petal in a way so that its left side starts in the middle of the previous petal. Press the top and the bottom, and with some light pressure, stretch it to the right. The same thing for the next petal. Place its left side maybe a millimeter higher, press on the top and bottom, and stretch it to the right. The next petal, same thing, only a centimeter higher. Place it in the middle of the previous petal, press in the middle and bottom, and here close the previous petal first, then the new one on top. Place the next petal the same way, placing its side in the middle of the previous petal, and make sure the height is again 1 millimeter higher. The next row is the larger petals. Push them on the bottom slightly in such a way that they begin to open up. Press down and move the top part of the petal to the side very lightly. Repeat the same process with all 5 petals. All ready. Now it's time for the final 3 petals. Place them on 3 sides on the bottom part of the rose. Press down and slightly fold the edges. The third one goes on this side. Now lightly expand the petals the way you'd like them to be. Press everything down on the bottom, and the rose is now ready to be dried. The rose is now dry, and we're going to be creating a stem for it. I have a ready stem here that's already dry, putting some glue on it and sticking it inside the flower like this. Make sure the wire goes in and doesn't come out from anywhere. Now take some clay, the same color as the stem, and tear off 5 balls about 5-6 millimeters in diameter. Take the first one, mix it up, create a drop shape with a sharp edge, which is very important. Press down a little bit, take it off, and using this kind of tool with a metal ball, roll through to create a small vein. If the clay sticks to the tool, put some hand lotion on the tool to make it better. All ready. Now smear some glue on the base of the flower and place 5 points, or put 5 points of glue on the flower like this. Take the first one and glue it on. The vein part needs to be inside. Glue all the little leaves on the flower. Like this. After gluing, press down a little bit. Put a little bit of water on your fingertips. And smooth out all the wrinkles that you have. Then bend the little leaves backwards a little bit. Like this. This is not the end yet. Take another little ball of clay, about 6 millimeters in diameter, and make a little sausage-like form. Slightly flatten it out. Put a little bit of glue here, just a few little points, and put this little piece of clay onto the stem, slightly hugging it around. Now using some water, smooth out the bottom part as well as the top. So the top part goes upwards, the bottom part goes downwards. The top part is a little uncomfortable to do, so I'm using this tool. I dipped this tool in a little bit of water and I'm using it to smooth out the top part. You want to make sure to cover the transition here. Smooth it out. Like this. This is what you should end up with as a result. The flower is now ready.